All right, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks very much for joining our Lunch and Learn today, focusing on the Springboard tools of CV Builder and CV360. So my name's Olivia. I'm the Membership Engagement Manager from BCS, and I'm joined by Helen Bancroft from Abintegro Springboard. So Springboard is our learning and skills development platform, which has got lots of engaging and useful content to support you along your career journey. And it's also got some really great employability support, like the CV stuff we're going to look at today. So I'm going to kick off just by showing you how to access Springboard, and then Helen will get into the CV Builder and CV360 demo. Now, we'll take some questions and answers at the end, but you don't need to wait till the end. If you've got a question that springs to mind at any point, you can just use the little toolbar on the right-hand side. You should see a questions little tab, and you can type your question in there. So don't need to hold on until the end for any questions that you've got to ask. Okay, so let's kick off by, I'll share my screen and I'll just show you how you're going to access Springboard, just in case it's your first time and you haven't been in there before. So I'll put my screen share on, I'll turn off my camera, that will help. Good stuff. Okay, so the one of the best ways you can access Springboard is just straight through the bcs.org website. So on the homepage, you should see a green person up here on the right-hand corner. So if you click on there, it's logged me straight in because I was logged in previously with my credentials, but it might ask you type in your email address and your password, or to set up an account if you haven't logged in before. And then you'll see this screen here. And this is My BCS, which is your sort of membership portal for My BCS as a whole. And obviously, if you haven't been in here before, then there's some great content you might want to explore in here. But if we just go straight to Springboard, you're going to see Progress your Career here on the left-hand side, or alternatively on the Career Development tab, Springboard is the first option there. So we're just clicking here. And then you've just got a little kind of description of what Springboard is, its key features, and no matter what kind of career stage you're at, it's got something that will be relevant for you. So let's get into the platform. Here we go. And so this is the Springboard homepage. This is our landing page graduate design. So some of you may see that, some of you may see something slightly different, but no matter what, you're all able to access the exact same content. Everything that's in there is the same for everyone, no matter how it's laid out. So let me pass over to Helen, and she'll give you the demo and the walkthrough today.
Thank you, Olivia. Thanks for that lovely introduction. Hi, everyone. Thank you again for your time. For those who have met me before, hi. And for those that haven't, yeah, Helen Bancroft. So I work with the Springboard team here at Abintegro. And ultimately, what we're going to go through this afternoon is a demonstration, first and foremost, of the CV Builder tool and how that works. And then we're going to move on to CV360 tool and how that works. What I'm going to do is share my screen now, and then I'm just going to give you a general overview quickly, just for those of you that haven't seen Springboard before. So we are now in, and Olivia, if I can just ask if you can let me know that you can see the screen okay?
I can, yes.
Perfect, thank you. I'm just going to minimize the toolbar here and you can hear me all okay. Great. Okay, so this is Springboard. So just a very quick 30-second overview of where you can start off. A great starting point would be straight into CV360 if you've already created a CV and you've got one ready that you want to scan in and check. Alternatively, you've got the 8 tiles here, which lead to specific pathways of learning. So emotional intelligence, problem solving, teamwork, presentation skills, and self-development are all e-learning pathways. And these all match the sort of graduate standards and behaviours that the expectation would be as soon as you're into work for the first time. Then you have job hunting, CV and cover letters, and interviewing. Alternative ways of accessing content or tools are up in the toolbar here. So you've got the tangible ways that we can support you by way of CV Builder, which we're going to go into anyway. But we also have an interview simulator built in here, elevator pitch builder and cover letter builder. Okay, you've also then got career assessments, and then you've got all of the learning that sits under here, so IT skills, business skills and business education courses, and the entire e-learning hub. And then finally, you actually do have a job search engine built into Springboard as well, and business networking tool that links up to LinkedIn. So that's just a very quick overview of the entire platform. As I say, we're going to focus on 2 tools today off of feedback from the last Lunch and Learn, which is a CV Builder and CV360. So let's start and jump into the CV Builder here. Purpose of the CV Builder is what it says on the tin, ultimately building out an entire CV for you from start to finish. So if you've never had a CV before, or you just think that you're not quite sure it's fit for purpose, then this is exactly where you need to start. Now, for the essence of time, I'm not going to do an actual CV and complete an actual CV, because we'd be here until dinner, so it'd be a dinner and learn as well. So we'll skip through this and I'll just type some random notes so that we get what the end result looks like. So if we click start here, this is going to fill in your personal details here. So I'm logged in as the admin for Abintegro, which is why that's pre-populated. But this is going to pre-populate with your own details here, so your first name, last name, phone, etc. Then if we click into here, so this is your personal profile section, and what I'm going to do is just type a load of nonsense here, click save. So I've just created my personal profile. Here it's asking me for my formal education, so my qualifications and any training that's taken place. So if I say Cambridge, because why not? We can all pretend, can't we? First class honours, and in English, not with spelling Cambridge without a capital, but okay, dates from 2001 to 2004, and then my details in here. Save that information. Then move on to some training, and yeah, I've done a bit of training here that I started in 2018, and that saved me some awards and training just here. Okay, if we then move into work experience, again, this works through, so my job title, so account manager, let's say Abintegro, description, I started in July 2019, and my responsibilities will list them off. Also my achievements. Great. Okay. There we go. Save that. So you can see that stores underneath here in my work experience, which you can then delete or reorder if you need to. If we then move into skills, same principle again. So what are my transferable skills? So emotional intelligence and details, so ability to act according to my audience. Okay, save. So that's now saved in here as well. What you'll notice as well, as you go through each of these subcategories, there are advice centres as well that pop up. Either you've got on the right hand side specific e-learning videos, or beneath you have help, news and advice, etc. too. So if you get stuck on a particular area, that's what you can do to sort of support yourself further. Technical skills, let's just put that in as well. Save that information. Interests, references are you know, that's personal preference, whether you'd want to add your interests and hobbies or whether you have references. I think if this is, you know, if you're in graduate positions and this is the first sort of full-time job, it may well be that interests and references are a good thing to add in just to kind of bulk out your CV. And then if we go to other, so any other thing like personal achievements or languages, so let's just say French here. Okay, so we've added all of that information in, and then any personal achievements, award, and save that. Okay, so that's me that has just created a very crazy random CV for you. So if we now download that, click the download CV button, you can see there's 5 different types of template here. And so what we'll do is if we click up here, I'm just going to do an entry-level hybrid CV template, and then if we download it, excuse me, that then opens up. So has that come up, Olivia? You can see that?
Yeah, I can see that.
Fab, great. So this is pre-populated. So I've got my personal profile here, which really makes no sense whatsoever. My education and when I studied and what my qualifications were. My work experience listed out here with a list of what would be my achievements and the description of the role itself, my key skills, any additional information regarding training and languages, my interests and references. So that's one CV example. And let me just flip that back. So that is the hybrid example, entry-level hybrid, but there are 5 different types of CV that you can download. So that is an overview of the CV builder and us building one out from start to finish. Like I said, of course, you guys would need ample time to be able to do this, you know, and really think about what you want to say or what you want to write or what have you. But that is how to do the CV builder from start to finish. So that information is found under My Tools, which is here, okay? Equally, let me see if it goes in from here as well. It might come up, or that might, okay, that's fine. So yeah, so the only place to find the CV builder is in the toolbar up the top, CV builder, okay? So let's now move on to CV360. Now, as you could see, I haven't created a CV per se. I was just giving you an example. So I'm going to do a scan of a sample CV that is not the one I've just created, because I would score very poorly if I'd scanned in that one. So CV360 is here. This gives you a video of explaining what CV360 is, but with me demonstrating it, hopefully it will all make sense. So let's start from the beginning. And I'm going to pull up an example CV. And this process takes anywhere between 5 and 10 seconds. So you can see there, that has now, in the period of time that took, it is checked against 58 different checks and balances. So let me store my CV now and I'll view this feedback. Okay, there you go. So just to explain what this technology is, so this is called an ATS, or also known as an applicant tracking system. So if you guys are applying for jobs via LinkedIn, for example, or via a job board, and you have to attach your CV, the ATS is the technology in the background to identify how right you are going to be for that particular role that you're applying for. So we have created this technology for you to understand what another ATS would score you at. Okay, so there's a little bit of context there. So here we can see my 58 checks. I've scored 91% overall. I've passed 53 of the 58 checks and failed 5. So that written here is what an ATS is, which I've just explained. And here are the 6 subcategories of feedback that we're going to go through now. Let's click into File. This looks at the type of CV, whether it's a Word document or a PDF. It's always recommended, guys, to use Word in CV. Just for this simple principle that PDFs sometimes miss keywords or don't score very well in ATSs. So recommendation is to always submit your CV via Word document, okay? And then if we work down, so we can see that this CV is older than 2 months. So has anything changed? Do I need to add any more skills, or do I need to think about things that I'd like to remove potentially from the CV? Is my file name is different to the name that I've titled it. The file size is good, so that's fine. What you can also do here, guys, is dismiss these checks, which will then, let me just dismiss that one as well, affect your overall score. So you can see now it's still tracking that I've dismissed 2, but it has moved my score up to 94%. Okay. Now let's go into the presentation section and work through here. So each subcategory will have a bit of e-learning to again give you much more context about what the machines are looking for, okay, what the ATSs are looking for. So we have 2 pages of the CV, which is spot on, a good number of words here, not too many, not too few. Font size and type is consistent, as is the colour, and that's all good, no manual formatting. What they have picked up is that there's not much white space. So it's a very, very text heavy CV, which again could potentially miss parts in another scanning machine. So just kind of think about the format and the layout, making sure that it's set nicely. If we then go into structure, we have sections here. Let's show them all. So this shows the 6 sections in the CV that are highlighted and easily identifiable. And I've got work experience and education sections, which is great. Contact information's in there. All of the content, all of the sections actually have words written in there and things said about, which is perfect. Layout is good. No repeated sections, so I don't have 2 lots of education history. I've just got the one, and a nice clean dominance of each section, which is great. So if you then click into content, okay, so the name on the CV is right. Contact information, it's saying that there was no email address on here. So how are they going to contact me? So we've got to go back in and update your email address. There's a postal address there. This is an indicator sign, so you'll see these as well, because we don't want to pass or fail here. Much like with references and yeah, references and achievements, it's not essential to add them in, so it's optional whether you'd want to, which is why it's not a pass or fail, it's just an indicator. So don't forget your LinkedIn profile as well. From benchmarking data, I think we have about 60% of profiles of CVs that don't have a LinkedIn profile added in there. So that's a really quick and easy way for people to look you up. So always add a LinkedIn URL into your CV. Education is all fine. I've got all the details and the order is correct, and the you know, the highlights of the grade and everything is fine. Work experience is all good and it's in the right order, and we've got each job has a job title, which is great. We have company names included and it's in an order that's chronological, which is perfect. There's no duplication of current jobs, also great. And then the skills, if we highlight here, so we can see all of those skills that we've added in work experience. Personal profile section is written out here for you, and that's all fine and that's included, and it's a decent length. It's not too long and not too short, which is perfect. Then again, we're here on hobbies and interests. Sorry, I didn't mean achievements, I meant hobbies and interests. So yeah, so you can see that there's a section included and there's a reference section included, but again, you don't have to. And then 2 more subcategories now. So if we go into skills, Here we go. So there's a separate section for all of your skills, which is great. Also, though, it's highlighting where in the CV each of the skills are highlighted. So you can see work experience, you've got 11 skills situated within there. All of the different ranges of skills here. And then the skill dominance, which I think is a really clever way of bringing this to life. So looking at your CV, or looking at this particular CV, critical thinking and problem solving is the biggest sort of influencer on this CV. So actually, are you going for a job that involves critical thinking and problem solving? Or actually, are you wanting to go for a job that's accounting related, which is such a small percentage? So how can you influence this to make sure that accounting jumps up to the highest or most obvious skill? Because again, the ATS will match what your skill dominance is versus the actual job role and the job description. So we want to make sure that that's matching well. Employability skills are all here. What you can also see, guys, actually on the right is here. There's if we click into it, hopefully, Olivia, you just let me know if you can or can't see it. Has that come up?
Yeah.
Great, thank you. So here we go, we have all the employability skills, and it's almost like a thesaurus of alternative words or ways to describe that. And then if we go back here, there was another, no, it's on the next category, on the next section. Okay, so language, where we've got personal descriptors lists as well. So if we click here, so here we can see the spelling, that's fine, no spelling mistakes or anything at all. There's a couple of grammar issues. If you click into it, it will then highlight it for you on your CV, so you can go in and make those changes very quickly. Same here for the personal descriptor. Here we go. Here are the lists. So the personal descriptors list. So here's some words that you've used in the CV, but here are some more if you need them. There you go. And then also same for action words. So power verb list, which is here as well. Let me jump across. Okay, so most used words, and let's highlight those so you can see they're coming across. Do you need to use business 9 times? Do you need to use working 4 times? You know, there are alternative words that you could say that just means there's not so many repeated words or phrases. Okay, good sentence structure overall, but there's a couple where they're a bit longer, so you may want to consider revising those sentence structure lengths. But again, you can see here, this is purely an indicator. It's not a pass or fail. It's just to kind of flag to you that you might want to look at that. Good readability here, and there's no capitalization inconsistencies or anything like that. The CV was read. Or to read, for a human to read, takes just under 3 minutes. So again, a good time. It should be 2 to 3 minutes of reading. So that is the CV360 tool, and a bit more of an extensive overview of each of the subsections and what we're scoring you for. So that is it from me for the moment. I'm going to take a breath and hand back over to Olivia. I'll stop my screen share and I'll come on to webcam. Let's do that now, actually. Right, Olivia, over to you.
Thanks very much, Helen. So it's just to cover off a couple of questions really that we've had come in. One of them is around how long a CV should be. So I know that we just saw a minute ago, it said about 2 to 3 minutes of reading, and on your kind of analysis it said 2 pages, that was an okay length, but I don't know if there is a sort of advised length. I think you hear variable different kind of comments from people, and then is it double-sided sheet or one-sided, or so yeah, what would you say is the kind of ideal length for a CV?
Sure, no longer than 2 pages really. 2 to 3 pages is spot on. I think 1 is too short. and whether it's on, you know, double-sided or 2 individual pages is, I guess, only relevant if it's a tangible CV that you're handing to somebody. But yeah, two pages is spot on.
Brilliant, thanks. And we talked about the applicant tracking system, the ATS. So questions come through about how commonly used they are. Is that something that, like, I don't know if you have a view of maybe X percentage of CVs will get looked at by an ATS or something like that?
I have it, but not to hand, and it's high actually, guys.
Yeah.
And as technology continues to advance, it will only go up. So you'd be surprised, because again, if you think, and especially right now in this awful pandemic, if you think how many more people are in a very unfortunate position of losing jobs, and therefore there's going to be, you know, tens or even hundreds more applications for one job. Computers are kind of replacing humans with efficiency, and you know, you can churn out a lot more CV reviews and applications via this ATS than you would by a human being reading it. So yeah, you'd be surprised at how high the percentage is of people that are using ATSs now.
Thanks. And then the last one was around the skills dominance. So we looked at that, the word cloud that showed all the different sizes of how common something was brought up. And
Yes.
so whether that is something that, let's say if you're applying to a job, project management, and then another job slightly different, whether you would want to kind of look at that skills dominance and make sure that maybe slightly different things were coming out as the most dominant skills based on what job you're applying for. Is that something that the ATS is looking at, that kind of skills dominance?
Exactly that, and that's definitely the case. So if you're applying for, I mean, I can only unfortunately give my example, but if I'm applying for an account manager role, I would want to make sure that, you know, sales are in there, that client relationships are in there, that negotiation is in there, that there's a real sort of success related to that role, because account management is about relationship building, but it's also about proving output. Whereas if I was applying for a customer success manager role, it would be much more heavily based on how, you know, on adoption, on engagement, on relationships building as well. But there's different skills needed for different jobs. So if there's a couple or a few different types of jobs that you're going into, the skills dominance is going to impact on that. So really do think about having more than one CV depending on the jobs that you're applying for sure.
That's brilliant, thanks. And then no more questions, but actually just a lovely comment from an attendee saying that they love the skills dominance and they're running this on their CV at the same time as we're doing the webinar, so they're doing a bit of a live demo for themselves as well, which is, yeah, really great. So
love
that's
that.
yeah, that's it really. I think then that kind of covers it off. So at the end of the session today, probably tomorrow, the emails will get pushed out and it will send you the recording as well of this event. So if there's anything you want to go back and look at, or you want to rerun, then you'll have the recorded version accessible to you. And we did say at the beginning of this event that this has come from the back of the last session that we did about Springboard. So we're happy to continue running all different events, either whether it's about tools in Springboard or about anything sort of BCS membership related. So I'm also going to drop my email address into the post-event notification as well. So if you've got any ideas for further topics for webinars, anything of interest at all, then you're welcome to email me and we can see what we can organise as well. So always happy to have some inspiration and feedback from the audience. So that's brilliant. Thanks very much everyone for your time, and thank you so much, Helen, for another really fantastic and informative session. We really appreciate your time.
Of course, no worries at all. It was great, and it's weird to be talking at people for this long without feedback, but I really do hope that it was beneficial to you all and you enjoyed it. Thanks Olivia for organising.
Thanks very much everyone.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.